guys, it is Dani'i and welcome to this update video on the tropics. So in this video, we're going to be talking about our two invests. We have Invest 95L as well as Invest 97L, and so they are both Caribbean threats, and it is likely that we won't have 95L developing. However, 97L could become a tropical cyclone according to the name ELSA, and so is Jamaica going to be an area of landfall? And so we're going to be talking about all that in this video. And so before I go into details, alright guys, so first let's kickstart with our Invest 95L. So the chance has now decreased again for it to develop into a tropical cyclone. So the chance was at 40 and now it is at 30%. It was stagnant at 40 for quite a while. So this thing here is really going to be struggling to develop, and so it is likely that this will not develop into a tropical cyclone. However, that doesn't make it any less dangerous. If you're in the Lesser Antilles, by about the midweek you can expect some inclement weather as a result of 95L, and afterwards it is going to be making its way across the Caribbean, and maybe as just an open area of shower and thunderstorm activity, it is going to be impacting the Greater Antilles, including Jamaica, with some very inclement weather conditions going down to the end of this week, guys. And so looking at satellite view of it, we're seeing here that it is looking pretty compact at this time, but it's really going to be having a fight because of unfavorable conditions up ahead of it, guys. And so, as I said, it's likely that this will not develop. However, it's still going to be bringing some inclement weather across portions of the Eastern Caribbean. And so, guys, now let us move on to our Invest 97L. So this is the new disturbance, and it is located to the east-southeast of 95L. And so we're seeing here that 97L is given a 40% chance, so it has a higher chance to develop into a tropical cyclone. And so this thing here is going to be a Caribbean threat as well. So we're looking at maybe by the end of this week it could arrive at the Lesser Antilles, inducing some very inclement weather conditions. And if it does strengthen into a tropical cyclone, which is possible before, it is going to be making impacts even worse. So you can expect some very heavy rainfall, some gusty winds, and even some storm surge. So you do not want to be near or at the beach during that time, and you just want to stay indoors and stay safe. Ensure that you're not in a flood prone area, which is really an area that is easily inundated whenever it rains. So ensure that you're in an elevated and safe area should in case this thing achieves tropical cyclone status and affects your area. So what is the future ahead of it? And so some of our models here in terms of the different tracks that we are seeing, different ensemble tracks, we're seeing that most of them are agreeing that we're going to be having this thing here moving across the Caribbean, and Jamaica could be an area of landfall. So we have these different members, and that black line, what you're seeing, is the main one, and so we have it crossing over the island. And so at that time the system could have a pressure of about maybe 1,003 or so millibars, so probably just a weak tropical storm. But nevertheless, it is going to be bringing significant impacts regardless of its intensity. So do not say that, okay, it is not strong, it's just a storm. Just a storm is enough to cause some significant flooding and landslides, guys. And we've seen that here in Jamaica a lot last year, especially as we were approaching the end of the season. We had some systems, I remember one being Zeta, that was a tropical cyclone close to us, but it didn't directly affect us, but the outer bands of the system caused some really significant flooding and landslides, and I think there were even some fatalities as a result of that system. And they're not even just Zeta, but quite a few systems that were in the Caribbean affected us and resulted in some significant damage. And so we cannot just underestimate a tropical cyclone because of its intensity. If you're in Jamaica, not just Jamaica, but I would say the Lesser Antilles as well as some sections of the Greater Antilles, you really want to take necessary precautions and be safe. And this could mean bad news if the system makes its way out of the Caribbean and into the Gulf, because once conditions in the Gulf are favorable, we will have the system intensifying, and the Gulf is usually a hot spot during the hurricane season, especially in the peak where we have some rapid intensification of our tropical cyclones. And so So guys, in terms of the model intensity guidance for our Invest 97L, here we have quite a few models available, and we have really all of them agreeing that we will have this thing here becoming a tropical cyclone. And surprisingly, they're all showing this achieving hurricane status, and so this is not impossible. But at this time, I only see a tropical storm coming from the system. But then again, there can always be surprises, so we just have to stay cautious and wait and see what the eventual outcome is going to be for the system here, guys, because anything can happen. And so that is why we have to keep paying attention to these systems. And so now let us look at the model intensity guidance for our Invest 95L. And so here we have it. We have quite a bit of models that are actually available for this system, but we're seeing here that there are a few that are not expecting that this thing here is going to be achieving tropical cyclone status, but we have majority expecting that it will achieve tropical storm status. And I don't see a tropical storm coming from the system here, so it is not impossible, but again, we just have to wait and see what the eventual outcome is going to be. But as I said, regardless of the intensity of both of these systems, not just 97L, we still have to always take necessary precautions and be safe, guys. So again, if you're in the Eastern Caribbean, or if you are in the Greater Antilles, not going to just say Jamaica, even though that's looking like a landfall spot as of right now based on what the models are showing. If you are in the Caribbean overall, you just want to be cautious and ensure that you have preparations in place should in case you are going to be affected by either of these systems, guys. Again, they're likely to cause some heavy rainfall, which could potentially result in some significant flooding, guys. So please stay safe. And so guys, in terms of the potential track for our 95L, we're seeing them all over the place. Our models here, some are expecting to cross into the Eastern Caribbean, going to the Central, but makes its way up to the north and make a turn out, while we have some taking it south of Jamaica, making its way to Central America and potentially the Gulf of Mexico. So we really have to wait and see what's going to be happening. But as of right now, Eastern Caribbean is at risk for both of these systems, and so if you're there, please take necessary precautions and stay safe. And so in terms of the satellite view of our 97L, we're seeing here that the system is getting a lot better organized, guys. And so if these trends are going to be continuing, there is no doubt that we will have a tropical cyclone at least before the week ends. And so guys, we really, as I said, we have to wait and see what happens. But heads up, Jamaica, the Lesser Antilles, please take necessary precautions and stay safe. And of course, I will keep you updated as time goes by. And so guys, that is it for this update video on the tropics. And if you found it to be quite informative, please give a thumbs up, and you can also share your thoughts in the comments or ask a question. I'll try to respond as best and as soon as I can. And just remember to always be weatherwise, and of course, I will keep you updated as time goes by.